Good afternoon. I wanted to take a moment, and I'm hoping that you will join me to flip to Romans chapter 3 in my Bible. I'm going to be using the NLT version. You can use whichever version is preferable to you. But I want to start from Romans chapter 3, verse 10. As the scriptures say, no one is righteous, not even one. No one is righteous, not even one. No one is truly wise. No one is seeking God. All have turned away. All have become useless. No one does good, not a single one. Their talk is foul like the stench from an open grave. Their tongues are filled with lies. Snake venom drips from their lips. Their mouths are full of cursing and bitterness. They rush to commit murder. Destruction and misery always follow them. They don't know where to find peace. They have no fear of God at all. This is the Apostle Paul, and he is addressing the Christian church in Rome. And he's just giving everyone a description about how we are naturally. How we are naturally. Because we were born under a curse. We were born under a curse. Why were we born under this curse? Because humanity rebelled against its creator. You see, before any of us were even a thought, before any of us came into existence, there was God. God is eternal in the heavens. He has always existed. He is the one who created time and space and matter. None of these things existed before God. And so he decides that he is going to create a place, first and foremost, for his creation to inhabit. He's already got it all mapped out. He knows the beginning from the end, and he's already decided that he's going to create each and every one of us. And he starts with Adam, made from the dust. And you see, upon deciding the beauty that he was going to create, all the beauty that you see around you, he already knew that his most perfect creation was going to rebel. He already had a plan in place for when that rebellion transpired. He already knew that that rebellion would cause us to have a disconnect from him, that we would be separated from him because of that sin, because of that rebellion. And that we would be born with a nature that was naturally in opposition to everything that God stands for and his nature itself. It says, no one is righteous, not even one. No one. We all rebelled. We all sinned. We all rejected God's most perfect design and his order. But here's the thing. We are created beings. No one created God. God is self-sustaining. He depends on nothing and no one for his existence. We depend on him for ours. We depend on God day to day for our provision, for the roof over our head, for the clothes on our back, for the food on our table. And not just that, you see, the earth that he created with all of its inhabitants spins on an axis. It spins on an axis. And that axis could fall out of orbit at any time. And that would be the end of us. But he is the one that is preserving us and sustaining us. We are dependent on this God for everything. Everything. His breath is literally in us. His Ruha breath was breathed into each and every one of us. And he made us so incredibly complex. How could you deny for a second that there is a God when you see how the nervous system operates and how everything perfectly works in sync to make sure that your body functions properly? But if one of those things was to shut down, everything else starts to fail. See, God knew how he wanted things to be from the very beginning. But many of us think that we know better than God. And we prefer our way over his way. The only problem with that is we were born under a curse, condemned, in danger of judgment from a God who is omnipresent. He can be everywhere at the same time. He's not restricted to one place. Omniscient. He's all-knowing. There's nothing that you can hide from him. There's nothing that can be kept secret. He sees all. He's holy. This is a God with no sin in him whatsoever, no deception, no iniquity, and therefore he cannot tolerate it. He cannot tolerate sin on any level. And therefore we must be held accountable. However, this God, he knew you personally. He knew you personally before you even spent a day on this earth, before you entered your mother's womb, and he was watching over you in the womb. Watching over you in the womb. And he has been there every moment of your life. Every moment of your life, he has been there. Watching over you. He has probably protected you from things that you don't even know were a threat. And so that being said, this amazing God who's greater than you could ever imagine is concerned about you and wants to know you intimately and personally, and wants a relationship with you, and didn't like the disconnect, and hated to be separate from his creation. So he provided a way for you to be reconciled back to him. And what he did is unfathomable. You see, this God, this almighty, sovereign, eternal God of the heavens, who is sustained by nothing and no one, set aside his ability to exercise his deity, came to the earth in the person of Jesus Christ as a man in the flesh, subjected himself to everything that we suffer in the flesh. Every temptation, every bit of persecution, humiliation, shame, embarrassment, all of it, all the pain that comes with living life on this earth. He subjected himself to all of it. And he was here for 33 plus years. Now, for 30 of those years, he lived life, in some cases, as just a regular man. However,